Violinist Lindsey Stirling has wowed crowds for over a decade with her stunning songs and dance moves. Now she is making a stop here in the Cincy area soon, and she wants you to come out and experience an awesome show. Lindsey, thank you so much for joining us today. And I have to know, after 12 years of touring, what sets this show apart from your others?
I feel like this show, the athleticism in it from myself and my dancers is higher than we've ever had before. You know, the aerial acrobatics keep getting more intense and more technical, and it's something that, I've trained in and my dancers have trained in pretty extensively at this point to be able to do it. Also, I feel like this show has better storytelling in it than I've ever done before. I think it takes people on a really cool journey where there's a very solid through line. Even if the music is like, there's a lot of diverse types of styles that people will hear in the music, and it flows really nice. And I think that it tells a very whole story that I've been really enjoying seeing the fan feedback about that aspect.
Yeah, and exactly how did you get involved in the acro arts?
I actually got into it during COVID when I I make it sound so casual. I decided I wanted to train as a hair hanger, which is insanely painful and insanely hard. So it's made it, I guess, a little bit easier to do the other apparatuses, because I'm always like, well, at least I'm not hanging by my hair. But I was like really intrigued still by the art of the aerial world, and I was like, oh, there's so many different apparatuses. Like I could try hoop, I could try silks, I could try pole, and so I feel like I'm still a baby in the art, but it's so much fun to continuously stretch the limit there.
Your newest album, Duality, features so many different sounds. What would you say inspired this project?
I kind of stretched the limits on either side. Half of the album is a little bit more cinematic, and half the album's a little bit more fresh and a little bit more pop elements. And I think that on either side, the cinematic stuff, I took it way more cinematic than I've ever taken my music. And then on the more pop side, I pushed it way more pop leaning than I've ever leaned. So it's almost like if I took my sound, I just stretched it farther to the sides. And which was a really fun exercise to do as a writer, to push myself that way. But yeah, I don't know. I really try to put my heart into all the music I've made, and my whole soul. But I feel like I was a little more successful on this one. Untamed is one that I just feel like it pulls out this kind of wild part of me. We all have this little inner wild, and I enjoyed that I found it through that song. I was able to capture it.
Hey, I feel like everybody needs that anthem at some point in time, so kudos to you. And lastly here, America first met you on America's Got Talent when Judge Pierce Morgan said he really didn't see a career for you in the entertainment industry. What advice would you give to someone who is told that their dreams are too big?
I just feel like anybody who's successful has been told their dreams are too big once upon a time, and I don't think my story is unique in that way. I think that mine was very visible and very embarrassing at the time, So it was like a comeback of oh, that was humiliating. Let's, do I have the courage to try again? Really, the only one that gets to decide how big your dreams are and how long you're going to go for it is you. And I really do think this is a world of survival of the fittest still. It's the person who's going to keep getting up every time that succeeds. Life will push everybody down on their butts. And, and after getting pushed down time after time after time, eventually a lot of people just stop getting back up. And it's the person that refuses to take no as an answer and continues to get up with all their bruises, with all their discouragement, with all the embarrassment, whatever it may be. Those are the people that succeed, and those are the people that realize their dreams weren't too big. You just got to be really resilient to find them and to reach them. And I don't know. I think that's what it all comes down to.